2TC is an achievement in Bloons Tower Defense 6 where you need to complete a CHIMPS game with using only 2 towers. We're going to be doing this today with the Inferno Ring and the Perma-Spike, which I believe I've not done before on a 2TC video. Get some fast shooting going. We're going with 520 Inferno Ring and 205 Perma-Spike. The reason why we're going middle path rather than bottom path, even though more like the fireball itself does more damage, except we need additional pierce really. Like without buffs, with 520 can exert more damage out, but when it comes to having buffs, and obviously like you can put stuff like primary training and then that'll take the buff up, and yeah, you can really enhance for more damage per fireball. But if you go bottom path, you only got 1 pierce with the fireball, whereas with this we've got like 2. Yeah, the meteor pierce increases from 1 to 2 if you go 520, whereas if you have the 502, each meteor does 1000 damage rather than 700 damage. But of course, with the increased pierce 1 to 2, that's 1400 damage per meteor. That's not including the burn damage. Going up to 320 with our Tack Shooter here, and then with our Spike Factory, we're going to go with 204, then Ring of Fire, then Perma-Spike, then Inferno Ring. That's the build order, which I believe is going to work in this case, because we've only got really 1 means of camo detection, camo popping, but then the meteor also pops camo balloons for some odd reason. If you leave the Spike Factory on smart in this position, it means that it's deploying spikes at the very end of the track here. But of course we can only really utilize this well if each pile of spikes lasts longer. And we kind of want that. We want each spike pile to last as long as they possibly can. Like permanently, even though permanently only means... hold on, it says almost permanent. It's not that perma then. I'm just kidding. Let's go with long life spikes. Spikes last much longer and can carry over 1 round. So it's either the amount of rounds that expire or the amount of time throughout the rounds that expired. Determines on how long each spike pile lasts for. Here we go, round 33. A bunch of red balloons and a bunch of yellow balloons all camofied, which means that our Spike Factory here is the sole protector of our cause here. And the thing with this particular 2TC involving a Spike Factory at all is that if you fail a round, you have to restart the entire scenario, because the game doesn't remember any spike piles that you have previously laid down from a previous round if it's the bottom path ones from long life spikes onwards. So if all of your spikes get removed, then that's it. You have to restart that entire scenario over if you done goofed around. Thank you to the person who suggested this scenario and stopped constantly asking me for 502 mortar and 250 ace. How do you deal with round 95? Ring of Fire is now purchased. Johnny Cash will be very proud of me. Round 40, we have ourselves the first Moab of the day here. Get all the spikes at the very end of the track. Hopefully, yeah, this will take it down to ceramics and only left with greens for the Spike Factory to deal with. If they were yellow balloons, we'll be done for. I believe round 76 and round 78 will be easier to deal with a 420 Tack Shooter rather than a 402. Yes, we do more damage, but we have less pierce in order to be able to deal with everything, because those rounds requires a huge amount of pierce to try and deal with all of the ceramics. Not fun at all. Also purple camos? Nope. Yeah, it's best to have it so that it's at the very end of the track so you fully utilize their lifespan. But be careful though, is that they do have a certain amount of time which that they can be deployed on the track. Pink balloon overload. All dealt with by the Spike Factory's deadly spikes. Gonna go with Perma-Spike next. Purple camos, all dealt with, and because of the fact that it's a Spike Factory, we don't have to worry about regrowths happening because of how the Spike Factory works and all the spikes that we deploy down over here. Yeah, the Arena Fire can essentially solo round 49 for goodness sakes. There is no worries whatsoever, as you can tell. Like, the peers that we have makes this a very optimal tower to deal with round 49. Round 50, the first mob has been dealt with. Now the second one. I don't feel good about exterminating bees. We need bees in order to continue life. Oh god, these camo ceramics. Can our spike factory handle them? Hopefully they can. Oh, the spikes are getting... I don't like to say they're getting low, but some of them were fading away automatically back there. Not good whatsoever. We are very, very close to 8k subscribers. Now remember, when we get to 10k subscribers, I will be attempting a base mortar 2 megapops run. Wouldn't that be fun to watch from start to finish? And it'll be even longer for me because I'll be doing lots of fat trimming, as in cutting out parts which I don't be talking or anything like that. Stuff that you've seen thousands of times already or played thousands of times already, but it's just a different skin called base mortar. You even lose the one great thing about shell shock in comparison to base mortar, and that is the stun part. We are so close to the Perma-Spike. I can already taste it. And there goes that mob over there. Ceramics, no thank you. Oh gosh, rainbow camos. Well, isn't this just a load of fun? Hopefully it's able to deal with all of them. Get a Perma-Spike, get them up and running. Ooh, there's only a few piles left over there. Not good whatsoever. Well, at least the first few seconds of a round has the additional attack speed of the Spike Factory in this form. I think you can tell where the rest of our money will be going into when we get near 50k. Camo leads, Arena Fire. Let's see, let's put you on close for just a little bit, just to make the round not go on for as long. I don't want the round to go on for forever while I watch these slow-moving lead Behelians go around the track. Yes, I made up a word. Don't judge me, okay? On this channel, we make up our own words, like defortification and decamification and de-regrowifying. All that good jazz. So subscribe if you like that sort of thing, so that we can create our own glossary of words, which to the normal eyes makes no sense, but to all of us, we know what we're talking about here. Great purple balloons, and now we're not even making the noise in which we would normally make if we cannot pop a purple balloon. But we can still damage these Mono class balloons of our Arena Fire. It's really interesting because the Arena Fire works very uniquely in that it doesn't block the projectile or the pierce itself because of what kind of attack that it is. Round 63, we'll be able to do this with Arena Fire on its own, no problem actually. There's the second wave of ceramics. If this was 402, I think some of them will leak. But with this, not a problem whatsoever. Round 64, however, is a different story. Look at all these fortified bees. No good. Let's see, meet your gruesome end. Let's go to close again just to pop these BFBs. I have a bit of a cold at the moment, so if my voice sounds a little bit deeper than usual, then that is why. I normally have a very deep voice anyways, but not really this deep. Or maybe you can't tell a difference and I'm just making all this up. Camo fortified ceramics, no problem whatsoever. We have a bunch of piles at the very end of a track to deal with you there. Piles of spikes, and they have to be 205 by the way. There's no way you can get away without the red hot rains, because we need those for the DDTs and also for the camo leads earlier as well. Like, if you don't go with at least white hot spikes, you won't be able to pass round 59, and that's a fact. Rainbow balloons along with some camo regrow white balloons. Our Arena Fire will deal with the rainbows while our Perma-Spike deals with the camo monsters. Camo monsters that looks like snowflakes. Coming to the end of round 74, dealt with that BFB there. Now it is, as you would call it, 3/4 of a way until we have completed our entire run. But remember, these last segments of the game are the most difficult ones, since they consist of the biggest and the baddest of foes to try and go up against. BFBs, let's try and chew you down a little bit by putting down some perma-spikes on this part of the track here. They're not going to stay, obviously, but it's just going to speed up the process. Otherwise, we might be stuck here for the rest of our lives waiting for the BFBs to make their way over here. And round 76, can we deal with this with just Ring of Fire? That's going to be a no. Hopefully they don't multiply beyond comprehension. And we managed to do round 76. 78. A round of all of these ceramics on them. And obviously, like with round 76, we're going to need some... We don't need actually any perma-spikes around 78 ceramics. Well, at least the first segment. The second segment, obviously, is going to be entirely reliant on the perma-spike spikes back here. But, you know... 402 against the first wave of ceramics around 78. Not bad whatsoever. Can we deal with all these? Yeah. I think Ninja Kiwi keeps flip-flopping on how they stand with the perma-spike itself. Like, I definitely think its attack rate has definitely gone down over the years, but the potential of perma-spikes themselves are still up there, honestly. Because there was a time where this thing was like nearly unstoppable. And then there was a time where it's like the worst tower to ever put in the entire game. And I feel like that with other towers within the game that Ninja Kiwi keeps flip-flopping about on whether to make it good or make it like nerfed as a goldfish. As in like how well it remembers stuff. So yeah, another thing really that makes me kind of question on what was Ninja Kiwi thinking when they made that decision, honestly. But obviously there's a good reason behind it, and the least you can do is respect the decision even if you don't necessarily agree with some of the decisions that they make with certain towers. Like, for example, I think some of the biggest nerfs throughout the game's history is just removing the normal damage type from certain towers, because I believe the Elite Defender and the Tack Zone once had the capabilities of just being able to pop lead balloons. And nowadays, with the Elite Defender, you need the 105/205 to be able to pop the lead balloons, but then you're sacrificing that shrapnel shot capability. So there's pros and cons. I think Ninja Kiwi is trying to make it so that there's a utility for cross-pathing, for either cross-path, rather than one being dominant over the other. Because there was just no need for purchasing a 402 plutonium reactor when a 402 just did the job by itself, because that used to be able to pop lead balloons by default, which I think is what you would expect from a radioactive tower, to be able to melt metal. But nowadays there is utility behind either cross-path, which is good. Also, we can now get Inferno Ring, which I have completely neglected. Put the Inferno Ring on strong because the main attack can deal with the weaker balloons, whereas the meteors themselves can shred down the bigger layers here, as you can tell. And if we went with a 502 instead, then we would only be popping one of the 4 to 5 BFBs at a time rather than 2 of them at a time. Which is why we go with the additional pierce over the additional damage per meteor. It's essentially game over now. We have essentially won here. Just keep this over here, because the meteors by themselves will do a lot of damage. Also, the track itself kind of favors the meteors, so say going a straight line. So they do curve around, but they do curve quite slowly. So you have to keep that in mind. Yeah, just leave a main attack for popping the fortified Moabs and fortified ceramics, and just leave a meteor to it. Otherwise, if you're always at first, then what it would just essentially do is, well, it just won't be dealing as much potential damage because it's not making full use of each meteor. And also the fact that the main attack is not as good when dealing damage to the bigger targets. But then again, there's also a video that I've done with a all pops challenge round 140 with Inferno Ring. So who am I to judge? DDT territory. We can pop DDTs with the meteor for some odd reason. But for round 95, I feel like this huge pile at the very back of the track is going to be more beneficial than not. Super fortified ceramics, no issue once they make a good way into their journey in the Inferno Ring itself. Again, leave the meteors to the strong balloons. Fortified Moabs, not a big deal, honestly. This can still continue to just be at the very back here. I'm used to Megapop scenarios, which is why this is called bad support. And this is Ring of Fire, best Balloons Tower Defense 6 Index. I run out of room for saying tower, by the way. And you can't put numbers in as well within the name of your nickname towers. Round 93, more DTs on the way here. Can we pop them all? As one man from Pallet Town would say, can you kill them all? No, wait, Bron's saying, can you catch them all? Oh dear. Played too many Balloons Tower events. I'm a fan of COD Zombies, and when I seen a Balloons Tower Defense 6 inspired map in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 as a custom map, and I looked at it, it looks absolutely amazing. Actually, I'm just going to pop some of these just to control some of this crowd along going on here. Oh no, maybe we'll just stick it back to there, but it looked absolutely amazing. And also the specialist weapon you can deploy down is the Apex Plasma Master, which is honestly a pretty nifty reward, and it can just annihilate everything on the track there. So if you're a fan of COD Zombies and like to play a particular custom map and you have proper security put in place, because the Steam client Black Ops 3 is about as fragile as some people's egos are on the internet when it comes to certain kinds of stuff. But yeah, it's a pretty amazing experience, and the mortars on that map acts as like teleportation devices essentially, where you just go around the map itself. It's not a huge map, but it's a pretty amazing one. All the weapons are customized. Like you start out with a dart, like a dart gun, not dart gun, a dart monkey, and they only go up to tier 4 rather than having like tier 5. So your dart monkey only goes up to Juggernaut. There's no such thing as an ultra Juggernaut. And apparently the bomb shooter is OP on that map, because the not recursive clusters, but the upgrade after that, cluster bomb, no, it is recursive clusters actually, have such a wide AoE of attack that it's like, and they're also powerful as well. It's not like they're a small in damage, but it's like, interrupted by the call of dinner time. Very wise, however, because I lost track of what I was talking about earlier anyways. I think it was something to do with a COD Zombies map that was inspired by Balloons Tower Defense 6. So yeah, the bomb tower is like one of the most OP things you could purchase. The sniper monkey is very good. So yeah, the sniper itself is very good for single target damage. What other things today? Ninjutsu. Probably the ninja path is probably one of the weaker ones. Let's see. Bad popped down into DTs and ZOMGs. Yeah, you can just tell that this is GG. Looking at our paths we have at the very end of the track here, and just see for yourself what we can do with just 2 towers on the field. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. This has been the Inferno Ring and Perma-Spike 2TC. Let me know what suggestions which are possible down in the comment sections below, or if you have a theory as to what kind of combination that has not been done before that could work. Now, with the possible combinations that have been achieved, you can track them all on the Balloons Tower Defense 6 Index, and just refer to the 2TC subsection, type a tower name in, and then another tower name, see if it comes up, and if not, then it's most likely that it's not possible to do at this current point in time. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you have loved the video in and of itself, and love me in general. Please love me. Don't love Lich though. Lich is a B word, honestly. But this scenario actually is not bad this week. End of the road. Just 3 things have been changed here, and Max Monkey obviously, and 3 Paragons. But not bad whatsoever, especially when you have the true Sun God on your side as the 4th Paragon. Thank you all so much for watching, everyone, and take care of yourselves.